Many blessings, a beautiful Sunday to my beautiful creatures and humans. This is Reiko P. Blackheart here for your Sunday Detox. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room that happens every time around this year: holiday stress. Balancing work and home stress during the holidays. Guess what? You may not say that there's stress, but there is stress, especially with the more demands. If you work retail, or if you work, at the airport or things of that nature, we tend to end up being a lot more stressed during the holiday season because guess what? A lot of us who have kids, who have, you know, friends or boyfriends or girlfriends or families that we want to impress, we tend to get very, very, very overwhelmed, especially when it comes down to making sure that we have the adequate funds. If you're a millennial, you're working more so you can have a lot of those funds to impress your girlfriend or your family. Some family members you don't give two flying fucks about in any way, shape, or form. But you typically will go through odds and ends to make ends meet during the holiday season. So let's go ahead and talk about it and talk about some of the do's and don'ts that I've learned over the years, and even give you guys a little backtrack on how I used to fail at this and how I've become successful in my own typical way, as well as I did give you guys an opportunity to tell me, how do you guys balance your work and home life during the holiday seasons on my IG. I'm going to start doing this almost every single episode to give you guys a little bit of insight, so you guys can kind of be involved in the podcast a little bit, as well as give you guys my source material, as well as give a shout out to people that are in my circle that is doing big things, and I feel like they need a little bit of the spotlight as well. If I'm going to do big, we all got to do big. So, starting with the home aspect and trickle into a little bit of the home aspect, trickling into the world aspect. Go ahead and talk about that. The reason why I say I want to start with home is because most of the time, the reason why we put in more hours and can't say no to the PTO, or, well, I'm sorry, the OT and all that other stuff, is because, home is demanding it. We have, significant others, we got children, we got, families that some of us don't even give a care about half the time, because we'll see these aunts and uncles that we make those memes about every year, the bougie aunt, the one that's always drunk, or this, that, and the other, that we always make, jokes about every single year, because we want to show out. So we want to sit here and put in the extra hours and give the best gifts and say, well, I'm the better child if you're one of those people who have multiple siblings like me, and or one of those people who have kids and we want to show out and say, hey, we got better gifts than the grandparents gave you. Or if you still have children that believe in Santa Claus, you're gonna sit here and say yes to the overtime hours and overstress yourself. So let's go ahead and go down into the whole work life now. When it comes down to it, the holidays is a very stressful time. I mean, we have a lot of natural stress that comes with the holiday. It's a Hallmark, commercial holiday where people, hey, did you get her a good ring? Especially with Jared's targeting a lot of people, and Walmart with layaway plans, and all these other businesses that don't have layaway to 365 days a year. They're opening the opportunity so you can get those big gifts, and all these sales for those big TVs and all that other stuff right before tax return season. This is when all the people are getting stressed to make those extra time, because guess what, you can get the extra time to go ahead and make those funds and get those things. But like, hey, yeah, so I got me that brand new TV and stuff for Christmas and everything else like that. So a lot of y'all are saying yes to overtime and or being voluntold in some cases. Some of these jobs like the banks and retail, and if you're like me who work at the airport, hey, we need you. We don't close. You're open 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We need you. Your flight's delayed. You got to stay. So guess what? You're here. Mandatory overtime. Business needs. You got to be here. So now you're stressed out about that. And you're putting yourself into this headspace where you're like, well, you know what, Christmas is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But at what cost? Like, a temporary feeling of happiness during the holiday season is that it's a form of stress. And all we're really doing is overworking ourselves and for us to go broke, for us to get depressed. We are putting ourselves out there more for the holiday season or trying to reach out to those holiday business parties and stuff, because a lot of companies have holiday events and stuff, and now you feel like you're obligated to go and show your face for a bunch of people you probably don't like outside of work. So you just need to learn how to say no. Balance it out. Learn to say no. If you can't do the overtime because you need for your own sanity, say no. I understand a lot of people want to make sure their kids have Christmas, but then again, no child wants to see their parents stressed. No child wants to see their parent overworked and stuff like that to keep an illusion of a man who doesn't exist alive. Or better yet, you sitting here want your kids to feel like they got everything under the sun for a holiday that and give them gifts that they're probably going to touch maybe 3 or 4 times and then put in a corner or put in a toy chest and never see again or never use again or never play with again. Like, mommy, 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 I want that Barbie set, Hey, don't overwork yourself for that. Don't go outside of your norm to please others. Don't go outside your norm or go out of your normal daily routine and cause yourself to be more stressed, because like I said, with the holidays it automatically gives you stress, but work adds stress too. You got to learn to leave work at work, and a lot of the times people get overwhelmed at work and then turn around and want to bring it home. Like, I can say I am a prime suspect on that. I do it, and I used to do it all the time. I still kind of do it to this day. Typically when it comes to outside of the normal holiday stress and stuff, when it comes to work, I try to leave work at work, but sometimes it does trickle into my home life, and then I just vent about it, and I'm just like, you know what? The day's over with. It reset. We're gonna start this over again tomorrow. We're not gonna go into work having the same mindset that we had the same day yesterday. But a lot of the times though, that's what happens. We get so overstressed and overwhelmed, and we find ourselves having like these little moments where we snap because work has stressed us out so badly. So I asked a lot of you guys on IG, like, how do you balance your work and your home life? And a lot of you guys said almost the same thing. Like, hey, when I'm at work, I'm at work. And I'm so conditioned to work that I don't stop. And I'm so busy, I'm running around so much that I don't have enough time to even stress about it. But you don't realize that it's still a form of stress. You're an autopilot. So you're not really taking time to reset your body, to reset your energy. You're just in the motions, going through the motions for the holidays, because we're moving around so much doesn't mean that you're not stressed. Stress is a silent killer. Even with the holidays, that's the reason why a lot of people don't realize that even with the holidays, it's still a form of stress. That happy feeling that we're getting, and y'all always wonder why, how y'all get this high for the holidays, but then turn around right after Christmas, going into New Year's, you start getting depressed. And it's a cycle. And I mean, like, honestly, for me, I used to sit here and care so much about my job and my home life during the holidays that when it came down to modeling, I would literally black out November, December, January, February, and would not model. And I would literally, because I just knew my job, and I would be so upset about it. And I mean, like, again, this is past me. I used to be so upset when I couldn't get the time off and wanted to spend time with my family, because everybody else was like, yeah, I'm going to go see time with my family. I'm going to go be with my significant other. And then I'm like, it took a little while of being married to somebody in the military and being around other military spouses and around, some of my friends who are like, emergency responders and stuff like that, to realize that that doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, spending time with them, because at the end of the day, work is going to still be there. Your family's going to still be there, knock on wood. But why am I going to stress myself about a holiday when I can see them 365 days a year? Why am I going to stress myself at a job and put in overtime when I don't need to? I mean, a lot of people don't realize that they add to that extra stress in our subconscious. We care about what other people think. So when you're at your job events and you're talking to all these people and they say, hey, what do you got planned for the holiday? What do you got planned? Oh, I'm going to go spend time with my parents. And then you sitting here like, well, I got to work. And now you're depressed because people are going to go spend time with their family. But then when you really sit down and think about it, do you really give a flying fuck if you with that family member or not? Because most of the time when it comes down to like your aunts and uncles and everything that these people make memes about every single year, about the family clapbacks and everything, do you really care about these family members any other time during the year? You play face, like you put on a face during the holiday season that you actually care about these people, and all actuality you be talking about them and talk about how they could be so stupid and how can't they have any financial stability any other time of the year, and make fun of them, and you so low-key talk about, damn, here comes that auntie, she couldn't even bear to wax that beard off the top of her upper lip, but then when she gets close enough and she hugs you, hey auntie, and hug her and kiss her like you wasn't just talking shit about her 2 minutes ago. I mean, like, we get ourselves in this headspace and get stressed out about those things. But then, at the end of the day, half the time, you ain't going to be around half that family members anyway. You're going to be around the maybe one or two family members you like. And even then, they might not even be there. Now you at this family event with family that you don't care about. Might as well be making money. Now, I'm not saying turn around and, overwork yourself and everything. Learn to say no. Don't go outside the normal routine. Just realize that, hey, if my kids don't get the Thanksgiving or the Christmas or the New Year's that they anticipate, just know that, there's still a roof over our head, car notes paid, bills paid, everything else. That is the best gift you can give your children. And I get that at the end of the day. The best thing actually, no, I can't even say making sure that they have a roof over their head is the best gift you can give them. That should just be something you should do. If you in comfort, your kids should be in comfort. So there's that. But the extra stuff is not necessary. You should be teaching your children and spending time with your children. These material possessions, making sure they have that new Hot Wheels track. I don't even know if kids even still use Hot Wheels, but that's just it. Like, back in the day for me, it was like they have the best, game system and stuff. You sitting here overworking yourself to make sure your children and your significant other has the best gift, and in all actuality, it's not worth it. Like, for me, and I'm going to tell you a story, and this is just going to be about why I stopped caring about overworking and getting gifts to certain people. I'm the oldest of 9 kids, and as the years have gone by, we've basically adopted more kids, and this is just like, hey, not like physical, take paper and, sign off, and these are now my siblings. No, it's just like, hey, we've been real good friends for a long time. Mom and dad. Mom and dad basically claims you, because my dad always wanted a big family. He basically got it because all of our close friends now is now his kids. So when it comes down to it, I used to sit here and stress myself every year, overwork, as long as I've been an adult, as long as I've been working, making sure that the parents had a gift from my siblings. And at the time, biologically, there is 9 of us. I used to sit here and make sure that my dad had a gift, and his gift had a gift from all the kids, and then I had to buy my own separate gift because I wanted to make sure he was aware, like, yeah, there was a gift from all the kids. Even if I paid for it, I still bought you a gift from me so I can get my recognition. And then it'll always be something he didn't like. It's okay. My dad used to buy me things I didn't like. Or same thing with my stepmom. Like, I used to sit here and buy her one gift from all the kids and put all our names on it and be like, hey, this is from all of us. And then still buy my own gift from them. Be like, look, I bought this one's for me. And it'd always be a purse. So she was always happy with a purse because she's simple. And then my mom, I always bought something for her for the other three kids under. And then when it came down to my siblings, I used to buy all their gifts. And it was to the point where if I bought one sibling one gift, I had to buy the other sibling a gift, because, or the same quality. Like if I had to buy one sibling a DS, I had to turn around and buy the other sibling a DS. And now it's like I'm sitting here going out of pocket or making myself go crazy, working extra hours to make sure I can accommodate buying them these gifts. Because guess what? Being the oldest of 8 kids, it is hard. You can't just buy one sibling one gift and not buy the other 8 siblings a gift. It just doesn't work that way. So I'm just like, hey, I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. Merry Christmas. Love you. I'll get a call. I'll call you. You got to hear my voice. That is the greatest gift you'll ever get. I am still alive. If you need advice, I am here for you. And then same thing, like when it comes to me, like I used to get disappointed in the gifts I got, because being the oldest, you used to get the shitty gifts. Like you used to think like the youngest sibling would get the shitty gift. No, the oldest one in my family used to get the shitty gifts. I used to get like clothes while my siblings were getting like laptops and game systems, as they quote unquote said, oh, it's for the family. But the only person who really used it was the youngest sibling. And I'm just like, but I got clothes that is 2 sizes too big. Because my dad used to have this habit of buying me clothes after I stopped growing. I used to be like a size 10, 12, depending on like the cut of the jean. And he would buy me a size 14, 16 and be like, oh, you're going to grow into this. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You're gonna make me fat. And for me, having anxiety, depression, and also endometriosis, yes, I understand my weight used to fluctuate because of the endometriosis, but I have never got to the point that I was 14, 16 pounds. Like, ever. Like, at all. So, for my dad to sit here and say, you're going to grow into this, I literally took it in my head, like, you're going to make me fat. So, that was like when I was like 16, 17. And then when I got 18, a couple years later, he just stopped buying me clothes because he realized the clothes that he bought me, I never wore. Like, I wouldn't even touch them. Like, wouldn't wear them in public. So he got into the habit of just taking us to the store and be like, okay, buy what you want, and then I'm going to give you the money to buy it, and that will be your Christmas gift. You can't open it till Christmas. So we already knew what we were getting for Christmas when it came to clothes. So it's just like, I would sit here and buy, or I would pick out clothes, and he would still not like it. And because my tastes haven't changed. My taste has been the same since I was like 15 years old. I've always liked gothic style and dark clothes and, baggy clothes. And my dad's like, oh, it's just a phase. You look like a bum, da-da-da. He still to this day doesn't care for my tattoos, my piercings, or any of that. But it's just one of those things, like, after a while, he just got fed up buying me things because he realized that at the end of the day, the things that he wanted to buy me wouldn't be what I want or anything that I liked. So I've just gotten to the habit of, when he asks me every year, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, don't worry about it, Dad. No, I'm going to buy you something. I'm like, Dad, you know good and well you're not going to buy me something, and whatever you buy me, I'm not going to like. I'm allergic to, things that's in most skincare products. So I don't need you to sit here and sitting at the store reading a label and to get mad when I return it, or after 28 years, you still don't know that your daughter is gothic and she likes dark things, and you want to buy me like pink flurry things, and I'm gonna be like, oh, this is nice, thanks, and put it in my closet and never touch it again until like I go through this phase where I'm getting rid of all my old clothes and I've never worn it. But like, when did I get this? When did I buy this? And then be like, oh, Dad bought it for me. So typically, like when it comes down to the holidays, like I don't stress the holidays because we typically get things that we don't care for. We typically be around family members we don't care for, and then we're overworked and overstressed unnecessarily. So it comes down to that. Like I don't deal with the holiday stress. I don't get hyped up over the holidays anymore. I don't get excited about the holidays. Most people are sitting here talking about, oh, what are you doing for Christmas? What are you doing for Christmas? I'm like, look, I'm planning out my birthday. It's in February. Yeah. What about New Year's? February, my birthday. So I'm planning on being in XYZ. And then even then, like when it came to like people asking where I was going for Christmas, my dad's one of those people where he would literally call all his kids and be like, so you coming to the house for Christmas? I have very bad anxiety, whether it's family or not. If I'm in a crowded house with too many people for too long, being an extrovert or introvert made me the way that I am.
I could be around my family for a good minute, but after too long of being in a large crowd, I start hyperventilating like I'm in a small elevator. My dad doesn't understand this. He's like, but it's your family. I'm like, I can care less. I can literally be at the backstage of my favorite celebrity or artist like concert and get overwhelmed easy and be like, I can't do this. So I'm like, no, I love you guys from afar, but hey, video chat me from the comforts of my room because I'm lame as all get out. So when it comes down to balancing the two, I don't. I celebrate my life every single day. I don't let home and home stress me out, and I don't let the holidays stress me out because guess what? Why? Why am I going to sit here and get myself overhyped and literally get myself depressed right after the holidays? It makes no sense. So, down to what some of you guys have basically been saying and what some of the stuff that I basically collected, and some tips of the trade that will help some of you guys out for this holiday season if you're not balancing the way that I am. Um, One of the guys here locally, he just basically stated like at work he moves way too much, and at home he's not at home enough to even stress. And this is Mr. Brain. He is Darius Brain, very cool artist here local in Jacksonville. And then my baby brother, my Leo brother, he just basically, I simply go to work, come home, and then go to work again. I'm boring. He doesn't really let things stress him out. He's very laid back, and he's also another spiritualist about protecting his energy and everything. And then the owner of Weave-In Luxury, Rashone Oliver, she basically told me, she's like, man, I don't stress it. I don't care about the holidays. I don't sit here and overwork myself. She basically celebrate her as achievements because she's a business owner. Her Christmas is when she reached, you know, her next her breaking milestone point in her business. That's her Christmas, and that's when she's going to be celebrating. Which I feel like a lot of people should take that more into consideration. You shouldn't be celebrating commercial or Hallmark holidays. You should be basically celebrating your achievements in your life. You shouldn't wait until a holiday to tell somebody you love them or you were thinking about them. Yeah, you should be appreciate them 365 days a year and should not wait until a holiday to do so. I feel like at the end of the day, more people should have that aspect. I have a lot of people sat here when I asked them as well. They were like, all they do is they eat and they sleep. Honestly, that's how a lot of people pack on pounds for the holiday. And this is how people become cuddly. And then they sit here getting depressed at the beginning of the year, talk about, I just need to lose 10 to 15 pounds because you don't realize you stressed yourself so much for overworking yourself and overstressing yourself that you packed on weight. Now you got to sit here and lose all the weight for the summer. So a lot of people just need to take some time, take some time. So I got some resources for you guys. I did some lovely backtracking to go ahead and see some best practices. I looked over here for Mayo Clinic dealing with stress and depression and the holidays. Me as a person, I typically always try to find different ways to deal with stress management and depression, making sure I take my medication every day, making sure I cope with, the changing and all that other stuff. Like the holidays could be like a different type of stress because of the demands that come with it. Basically, you just should acknowledge your feelings and acknowledge that, you may not be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish for the holiday season. The little bit that you can accomplish, you should look at that as a success. Don't sit here and overstress if you can't get your kid every gift off of their list. Don't overstress if you can't buy your significant other anything. They should just be happy to be able to see you. Because a lot of people in the military don't get to spend time with their family. A lot of people in the emergency response don't get to. Like these firefighters, these, people who are paramedics, these people who work at the ER, they don't get to spend time with their family. People who work at the airport don't really get to spend time with their family either. A lot of flight attendants don't. And it's bad. Like I know a lot of flight attendants firsthand working in the industry that I am. They won't get to see their family until right before the new year. And it's sad because they're already scheduled to work. Um, If you're feeling lonely or isolated, feel spend time to communicate. It's all right to spend time and communicate with people and tell them how you're feeling and tell them, hey, I need it. I'm feeling a little alone. This holiday season is making me stressed out. I'm not going to be able to be home. Somebody is going to be able to be there for you, whether it's a friend, and even that phone call is enough. If you guys feel like you're getting overwhelmed because you're not going to be able to be around your family or the people that is quote unquote your family because you feel like you're obligated to, but you know that you're going to be more miserable and more alone because you could be in a crowded room and still be miserable. You could just be realistic. The holidays don't have to be perfect. It don't have to correlate around this white picket fence version of a perfect Christmas or a perfect holiday. Be happy that you're alive, you're existing, and you are able to manage a little bit. Um, Basically, at this time, set aside some differences if you're stressed out or if you're feeling like your partner or significant other is not listening to you. Take time to sit here and really communicate with your significant other and let them know, hey, this holiday's got me a little stressed, it got me a little overwhelmed. If you tend to take it out on them, say, hey, I'm sorry, I've been a little overwhelmed. So communicate. Communicate. Now in the holiday time is the most time and the most vital time to communicate with your significant other because that's going to be your biggest backbone. That's going to be the person that's going to be here. And I know a lot of relationships tend to get stressed out during the holidays, and it's one of those things. Stick within your budget, and that is a big thing, especially with relationships. Now, on top of the communication, if you are not sticking within your budget and you sit here and make yourself go depressed or go crazy, you tend to get into this real fickle spot when it comes to your budget. Because now bills are starting to fall back behind. Some people are like, oh, that credit card, swipe, swipe, swipe. Not realizing you're putting yourself into more stress and more debt when you get the credit card bill next month in January. Well, you're going to be sitting here like, dang, I did all this and none of those people like the gifts that I got. Or your parents or your significant others, man, I swiped up this card, racked up these bills, now I gotta pay all this back, and they didn't even like the gift, and now you mad, now you depressed, and definitely when it comes to the budget, it is depressing. Um, what you should do is always plan ahead. Set aside different days for your holidays, for your shopping, for your baking, for visiting your friends, visiting family. Don't take on more tasks than you should. Be able to say no. I feel like that is the biggest thing during the holiday season. Learn to say no. If you don't say no, for your sanity, for your health, if somebody is doing something you don't like, or if you can't accomplish a certain activity, or you feel like you are obligated to do an activity because somebody did something for you, say no. People who are really in your corner, who are really care about you, they will understand the reason you said no is for your health, for your sanity. Protect your energy. Saying no is going to be the biggest thing in your corner and biggest thing to help you because if you are not good enough for yourself, how are you going to be good enough for anybody else? And this is where we're going to get into do not abandon any healthy habits in the time to make other people happy. Right now, I want to go ahead and stress this. Protect your energy. If you sit here and you take time during every week to bathe, to go bowling, to de stress. Do not stop that because the holiday season. Take those time, those little key moments in your life that make you happy, that help you de stress. If you have to sit here and go, if you smoke hookah, go do that. If you do that as your de stressor, go do it. If you go shoot a gun at the firing range, go do that. Do not stop your habits to please this commercial holiday and to make everybody else happy. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take time to make yourself happy and protect your energy, you're not going to be able to make other people happy because you're making yourself miserable. And a lot of people who are empaths or other people who could sense when you're miserable and you sit here saying, yeah, no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And all actuality, you not, you're doing more damage than good. So take time to release and protect your energy. Soak in some bubble bath, listen to some music, Take some time away from work. Take some time away from your family. Make sure you de-stress because your energy is valuable. Spend time with that loved one. Try not to fight. If you fight and you're in the wrong, own up to it. Especially with this holiday, it's stressful. Love yourself enough to know to say no. Love yourself enough to balance and not take on more than you can chew. And stay healthy. I understand Thanksgiving, with all these unhealthy foods that's about to be on this table and all the unhealthy foods that's going to be here for Christmas and all that toxic energy from your family and the stress and people not getting the gifts they want, that's not the energy you want. That's not the energy you need. We just got to remember at the end of the day, protect yourself, detox, and make sure that you protect you. Because at the center of your universe is you. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you balance out your work and your home stress during these holiday seasons, because at the end of the day, it's going to be that big boom before that depression, and we don't want any of y'all to be depressed. Don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about that subject later. But getting on the subject of relationships, next week we're going to talk about handling different relationships and how people balance during the holiday season. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to this Sunday's episode of Sunday Detox.